It's Uncut. It's Uncut. Yeah, it's that mixtape, man. Uncut Gems mixtape. Shout out to the homies, man. Free the homies, man.
Salutations. Welcome to the Uncut. Salutations. Welcome to the Uncut Gems mixtape, your favorite podcast. I am Rolex Ryan Humor, and
hey man, what's poppin'? Because we on the visuals, I'm gonna change my intro up. It's your boy About Dale Time. As you see, my name displayed right there. Yes, you can follow me on Instagram. Thank you so much.
Do the plug during the greeting.
Facts.
Well, since they don't want to give me no shine, I am Mr. Producer. Doesn't matter what the name is, because at the end of the day, it's about these lovely people. Nobody cares about what the producer says. Nobody wants a producer all up in the video, singing and dancing. I'm not Puff Daddy, Dame Diddy, or Dame Dummy.
The thing is, he's in like a lot of videos.
So we're just having a discussion, right? Check this out. We were having a discussion during one of our pre-production meetings about Ether. Ether came up.
Mm-hmm.
The Jay-Z diss, the infamous Jay-Z diss, written by Nasir Jones. And our esteemed colleague, Mr. Producer, said that Ether was primarily, we'll say, overrated. He said it was name-calling. Essentially, just wasn't that good. Didn't say it was trash, but said that if it was placed inside of a dumpster that was on fire, it wouldn't be that far off.
Wow. Yeah, he was very disrespectful. And mind you, the thing about this is I'm probably the only, like, Nas is my favorite rapper in here. Jay-Z. So, like, it's a debate. Like, and for him, he a real Jay-Z fan. Like, I know they both real Jay-Z fans. For him, they'd be like, actually, bro, I can't even lie. Like, low-key, like, that Ether kind of trumped everything Jay-Z did when it came to dissing.
Everything. So, what we did was we gave our producer some homework and was like, hey, man, how about you just take some time off of heroin and listen and just listen. It was met and just listen to Ether again. So he listened to Ether again, and we kind of wanted to revisit it and get his reaction on camera and see if anything changed since he re-listened to it. And we thought that a lot of you guys should be involved. For those of y'all that may be around our age, you recognize Ether. For those of y'all that may be a little bit younger, you probably recognize the Rima disc with the Ether beat, then went into Google Ether and was like, oh, what's this thing that Nas made about Jay-Z? So I feel like, especially because of diss culture within hip-hop, this encompasses all ranges, whether it be Drake's diss, whether it be if you super old school and you got the Hit 'Em Up diss, whether if you got the Kumo D
and Buzz and Busy Beat.
Yeah, whether you got, everything. Whether you got like the Harriet Tubman beef with
Frederick Douglass.
Like even if you got that, all beefs involved. So we want to know.
It was Django and Frederick Douglass.
So enough about me. We want to. How do you feel now since you did your homework?
Okay, I'll admit to y'all. I'll admit to the people. I was bugging.
You was bugging.
I was bugging. I went back.
Were you wilding?
I was bugging. I was wilding. I was tripping. I had to kick the hair on. All of that.
How you feeling now? How was rehab?
Rehab was good, man. I found a lot about myself, which is important. I was tripping. I actually went back, listened to it. Kind of got into the mind where the bar work was crazy.
Right.
The beat is a typical Nas beat where it's just like,
it's hot trash.
Let me get the ugliest thing on the rack, but I'm gonna make it fly.
Right.
So, in that vein, what I wanted to do, since we already kind of talked about that, and I took my shame, I'm gonna go to the secret weapon.
Wait, questions.
Questions.
Come on, man. Listen, for those of y'all, Dale's gonna put a link to our IG on the bottom, but to Tariq's point, when you said Nas picks the worst beat,
yes,
right? There's a meme on our page. I don't know who made the meme. I didn't make the meme, but the meme says, Common goes into the producer and says, I want the very worst beat you have. And the producer says, Nas already took it, but you can have this one. And that makes sense as to why his beats are so bad.
Right. Absolutely. Okay, so, question one.
Okay.
These are questions.
Oh, yes. Numerous questions.
Come on.
Don't be surprised. This is what I do. This is who I am. All right. Better song, Ether or Super Ugly?
Better song. Ooh, that's good. So this is, so when you're saying song, are you meaning like as far as like not listening to it for the beef? or just basically something you would put in and just actually listen to the music?
I'll let you answer it, whatever criteria you set forth.
So for me, Ether's a better song because I'm looking at it and from that perspective, I'm looking at it as like he did exactly what it was supposed to do. We are all over here making fun of Nas about the beats that he made, but it's kind of like how we give credit to ball players when they don't have a good team and they're able to make work happen or get to championships when they don't have a good team. So for him to get on the beat that's super ugly and trash and everything like that and actually make that such an iconic song, it's a better song. It's a lot of people who actually don't even remember Super Ugly, you know what I mean, and know tons of Jay-Z's music, but people who know Nas just dissed Jay-Z with Ether. Like you say Ether and that, like people didn't even know what Ether was, that it actually was something that was for an explosion until he came out and did this Ether song.
Got you. Okay. All right.
Song is such a subjective. You trickster. You trickster. You. We had a conversation about this last night. Similarly, when we talked about T-Pain "Buy You a Drink" versus
it was
Was it the Miguel?
it was the Miguel. How many drinks?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And I have to come to the argument and say how many drinks is a better song because the way it comes on.
Right.
But when T-Pain, that beat is specifically for T-Pain.
Yeah.
When that comes on, that is T-Pain. When Ether comes on, that's Nas. It's Super Ugly, and I like Got Yourself a Gun more than Ether.
Yeah.
Like I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
So if you be talking about all I really want is your girl want to be with me, now, of course that's the dance too. To like, yeah, but if I'm like. If I have the specific task of mowing a lawn, running, or murdering somebody, Ether is better. But as far as if I was just to turn it on, woke up this morning, got yourself a gun, I'm just bouncing. Which Nas still wins because that's Nas' beat anyway.
Ah, okay.
So I mean, yeah, that's better.
That was
Yeah,
I like that.
I'm out here. Now, he thought he knew what he was doing, but you know.
Yeah.
Oh, there's more. All right. So, so on that note, what's the importance of that beef specifically? What's the importance of that beef to the culture as a whole?
So the importance of that beef, in my eyes, is we had Hit 'Em Up, right? However, Pop put all of his boys on Hit 'Em Up, and even though his verses were wild, disrespectful, you get off in the beginning, he get off in the middle, he gets off at the end. We got a bunch of cultural phrases from Hit 'Em Up.
Oh, this is true.
Staff, record label, and the crew.
This is true.
All of that, right? But when it came to Ether, we have one person rapping about another person all the way through the song. And it's just as disrespectful as Hit 'Em Up by the way the song comes on.
Right.
You got Tupac, and that's why I had sex with your wife, you obese motherfucker. Right? Right? Then we have Nas just saying, fuck Jay-Z. Like, just off the rip. Like, that's just...
You been on my dick. You love my style.
And I think, like, the interesting thing is when it comes to Tupac and, like, talking about, like, I smash your lady, right?
Right.
And then when it comes to Jay-Z, Super Ugly, it's all about Carmen. Me and AI got more in common. Let's just ball and rhyme and get it more in common. That's a bar. However, it's like Nas pulled the Eminem move where it's like, I'm gonna make fun of myself first, so you can't do that. So in Ether, Nas already said, why are you so concerned with dissing women? Were you abused as a child? Scared to smile? They call you ugly? So you're gonna make fun of women to respond to me, right? And that's what Jay-Z did.
Yep.
Ooh.
So I'm not gonna say because Ether came out before 8 Mile. I'm not gonna say that Nas created the Eminem attack myself first move,
right.
But Nas created the Eminem attack myself move. I also think this is important because Nas opened the door up for when you diss somebody to give like key information about them that you can't find or Google. I'm sorry, before we could find or Google it.
Right.
I'm Jay-Z fan my whole life. At the time, I'm like, why is Jay-Z named Jay-Z? His name is Sean Carter. Sean Carter, Jay-Z, Daniel, and Jazz Dick. Oh, who's Jazz? I can't Google this at the time.
Yeah.
Like so,
you can't YouTube it. You can't do that.
The cultural significance of it is, I think this was the first time we just got we aired the dirty laundry and told somebody about the background. Like, why is your company named that?
Right. And the piggyback off of what he's saying, also too. I mean, you hit every point. But I also think it was a time where two kings actually went head to head.
And that's kind of what I was asking about as far as just like King Kong and Godzilla was like.
Yeah, this is
no
my,
sneak dissing.
Well, and there's also I'm sorry. There's also this when it comes to the culture and like repetitive, I guess, key phrases that people constantly repeat, right?
Yes.
Ether came out obviously before Black Album, right? So Nas says, how many of Biggie lines are gonna come out your fat lips? But Jay-Z says years later on Black Album, if I say a big verse, I'm only bigging up my brother. So he's still explaining some shit from 2001 and 2004.
Right.
Eminem murdered you on your own shit. It's still something people say to this day. When obviously Jay-Z got Eminem on that beat for the beat, and it to be like a time capsule of who Eminem was at the time.
Right.
I don't think it was like, it wasn't a battle. I don't think it was that. So significance culture, I'm sorry, is that he created like things that people say about Jay-Z forever.
Right. Yeah, and I agree with that too. Like, that's forever. Everyone, and especially, you know, because Jay-Z's at the stature of LeBron, right? Like, in a lot, or MJ, if we want to say so, but there's always hatred for him. There's always hatred for him, so that means that there's always a fan that's going to hate, you know what I'm saying, hate Jay-Z. So when you now give me, Nas basically gave something people can feed off, because at that time, Jay-Z was almost untouchable. You know, it was a very, like, you know, he's, you can't say he wasn't really in the streets. You know what I mean? It's a lot of other rappers, like even Prodigy was a ballerina at one point in his life. So you know what I'm saying? When he was like mobbing deep and stuff like that, like somebody can bring that back up to you. But for Jay, it's like really no one ever had anything that they can actually say Jay-Z did or any like bad news. But it was like when Nas said that, it was like, oh yeah, so you ain't really all that then.
Nas, Hov is LeBron, and Nas Skip Baylessed him. Because there's things people say that hate on LeBron, and they're just things that Skip Bayless made up.
Right.
The fraud, the king with no rings, he always needs help. No clutch gene. Those are all Skip Bayless phrases that we see to this day on Twitter.
Yeah.
Like because Skip Bayless like, I'm gonna put this in the ether, pun intended.
Yep.
And Nas created these things where Jay-Z's like, if I say a big verse, I'm only bigging up my brother, I'm bigging up my barrel, I'm big enough to do it. I'm not thorough, plus my own flow is what's wrong? It's the rings and things you think about bringing up. People are like, that's a Biggie verse. But I already explained that I was going to say that. Yeah. Nas said 5 years ago you was going to do this.
Yeah.
So forever.
Right.
Forever. So
He Simpsoned him. He predicted his future.
he Simpsoned him.
He did.
He Matt Groening him.
Yeah.
Or you could say in that moment he was Nostradamus. All right, moving on to the next question.
Okay.
Is that written down?
No, it is not.
Oh, gosh.
All right, so then that kind of leads into my next question. How far is too far in a rap beef? Where's the cutoff line?
I don't think it's no too far. I mean, because I'm thinking about the people who actually battle rap, like battle rappers. Like if you're a battle in New York is battle history, right? Like this is where it was the birth of battle rap, you know, transpired. So there is no too far. You know, I don't think there's no. Oh wait, man, you said that about my mama. Like, you know my mama got cancer. If you a battle rapper, fuck your mama and her cancer. Like, that's literally it. Like, she gonna take these hoes. Like, it's just like, you know, so I feel like it ain't no far. I think what's too far is no too far, but it can only be too far to the recipient. And if the recipient decides to back out of the battle, then maybe that was too far. It's like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like, people get in a fight. All right, I'm done. All right, the fight's done. You know what I mean? Now you done. You gotta, you know, your eye is like this. Your eye is like this. So that was, you know, but that's what you deserved. You knew what you were getting yourself into when you got in the ring. So you gotta make sure when you're getting into the ring, when it comes to rap, it's like, you gotta understand your dirty laundry is gonna get aired out. That's what battling is.
Okay.
Because I guess like telling somebody on the court, like, and just to go going back to basketball, but like, hey, bro, you can't cross over because you know, like, defense is my weakness. Like Dom wanna cross you every time then, or you know what I'm saying? You can't, like they telling somebody telling Shaq, you can't back me in because you know I ain't as big as you. But that's my strength and that's your weakness. I'm gonna expose your weakness.
Okay. To that analogy, though, like you're naming cool stuff though. Like when it comes to dirty stuff, you weren't a huge fan of Vadi Diva. Like you didn't like the jazz. You didn't like the way the Kings played. We're talking about how dirty can you get, not backing people down on the cross. I'm talking about how dirty can you get.
I don't like them because I mean they're dogging on my teams, but I'm saying
you accept it.
But I accept it.
Okay.
I'm not gonna tell you, oh, you know the bad boys of Detroit, like Like that's an
You don't
iconic.
think that was too far?
No. I don't think that's too far. If you gotta steal on somebody in the game,
You gotta steal on somebody.
steal me. Bam.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But I mean, I don't think it's too far. I think you deserve that. You deserve that. You on that court, you got to be aware of that. And if you ain't built for that, then this is the wrong kind of game for you. Go try playing Atari.
Oh, okay. All right. Next question. Was this beef merely a footnote in their careers? Because if you think about it, this wasn't really career defining. They had already had pre-established careers, level of greatness. Both had put out classic albums, you know, had a great catalog, added a lot. So do you think that it was a footnote, kind of looking back at it now?
I think when it comes to always say footnote, do you mean I want to say it was an accomplishment, like it'd be on the Wikipedia, because when you see people's games or their craft, you want to know if they can do everything, right? It's kind of like go back to basketball. That's what we do. Like LeBron went back to Cleveland. Like let me go back to Cleveland so I get this real quick. Let me go to the Lakers, see if I can do this real quick. Let me get MVPs. Let me start working on my three. And you see someone be like full faceted, right? No matter how much we say a ring doesn't matter, the more you get, the better. If you end with 0, it's like, I never won that ring though. So I feel like having a battle that did matter makes a huge difference. Even when people are like, well Drake winning Meek Mill, and then that was too easy. But he still has a battle on his. You check the battle box.
Okay.
Check the battle box. Dun. Like if I think it. We don't know, but who knows if Drake never responded to Pusha at all. And it's like Drake ain't even never battled nobody. Like he's soft, right? But he already has his back-to-back and is charged up. So I do think it was defining to just know that you can participate from all aspects of this game. And I think that both of them did it in a way where Nas put a lot of work into either, and Jay-Z dropped his several discs after and was like, all right, I'm done now.
Yeah,
it's cool. So I think it's very important.
I definitely think it was very important because it's kind of like a Floyd Mayweather versus Pacquiao. Like we need to see this fight. We got to see this. Yo, you guys are one. Queens is huge because the thing about it is okay. Now let's go back to KRS-One. I know you're a big KRS-One fan, right? So KRS-One at a time when he was going against MC Shan, right? Like that's what that brought back to. You got the Boogie Down Bronx against Queensbridge. So this is why that was such a staple for us because it was the new age of this.
And we got great music.
At that time, right? So and it's like I definitely think because like I said, like New York being a state of so many barrels of it, right? And it's like it's kind of like how we used to hoop back in the day, and we got to go to this other side of this park just to beat these guys so that we can be the kings of these courts. And that's what I felt like it was when it came for Nas and Jay-Z to actually battle. It was like, yo, like y'all both great, but people see Nas as a conscious rapper and they see Jay-Z as the streets rapper. So for them to actually go head to head, like yo, it's kind of like yo, like, y'all gotta go head to head and see if your style can outbeat his style.
Okay.
I also think it was dope that like those two ended up battling each other.
Yeah.
Because of, I mean, when Hov says on Black Album, if skills so truth be told, I'll probably be lyrically Talib Kweli. Right. Truthfully, I want to rhyme like common sense. I did 5 mil. I've been rhyming like common sense. So Hov did this because this is what you guys are buying. Yeah. Like I dumbed down my audience and double my dollars, right? And Nas was like, I'm not all about that. I'm still Nostradamus and Nasty Nas, but I will get on you. Yeah. For those two paths to cross was great. We're not never gonna get a Drake and J. Cole beef. I know that's a lazy example, but that's what we're not.
But that makes perfect sense.
But we're not gonna get that. So to get that from them is like, wait, people that don't even know, like, wait, Jay-Z and Nas battled? That's crazy.
I wouldn't even say a Drake. It's crazy. I wouldn't even say a Drake and J. Cole. It would be a J. Cole and Kendrick is the battle you would want to see.
That's what you'd want to see.
That's the battle that I felt like people would be more like.
But you'd expect to see that though.
You would
right?
expect to see.
No,
that.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. When it comes to, when it comes to pop stars like Drake, and at the time Hov with a Blueprint 1 is close to a pop star for the people that aren't paying attention to the lyrics. Mm-hmm. You wouldn't expect them to cross paths like that. And I think that it's bigger than a footnote. Like those two battles, because you're never gonna see that again. I think that the closest thing you did get to that was like if Meek Mill did more songs.
Yeah.
Because that's a pop star battling with a battle rapper.
With a battle rapper.
And it's just like, I guess, I don't know the politics behind it, why Meek didn't do more or whatever. Maybe he was tired. I don't know.
Yeah.
But maybe back to back was too much. But that's the closer to get to that intersect. Not gonna happen again.
I just think to go about Meek and Drake, I feel like, not to say that Drake didn't just wash him, but I definitely felt like, I mean, I'm giving him an excuse with this right now, but I feel like the court stuff, probably he can use that as look, I was going through heck of stuff, like courts and stuff like that, like, and then trying to write, and I was like he do this now. Look, I was traveling, I was on the road, I didn't really have the time, like my watch wasn't ticking the way it should, and my shoes and the Bentley, it couldn't fit in the parking spot, like.
But I think, but you know what? I think to your point earlier. If you said a car couldn't fit in the parking spot, you couldn't get in the studio. Can't run the runs. That's funny, man. I think to your point, how there's never too far. People get beat up and stop playing.
Yeah.
I think the same way how Drake wrote the back-to-back, and then Meek Mill did the song where at the very end he says, "That's why I did. He told me peed on you," but wrote a whole song. Doesn't talk about that at all. Just rap, spit. That's what homie peed on you. No, put that in the rap.
Right.
So I think at that point it's like Meek Mill felt like, you talking about this Nicki stuff, but not saying nothing, but kind of saying stuff, and I'm with her, bro, I'll lose.
Yeah.
Like, I'll lose.
I can't do nothing.
It's just like, so when...
And Nicki is with you, like, Nicki's like...
So it's like when Pusha drops the story of Adidon, and 40 is sick. You were hiding a child. Oh well, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I just like... What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do, bro? Like, because even if I write the best thing I have, you can repeat all that same stuff and it's gonna hurt again.
Right.
And that's when you know it's just bad.
I think for Drake though, the reason why that the story I don't hurt so much is because his whole thing has been trying to be better than his father.
Yeah.
So in the sense of like now it's like all you rap about is how like you know what I'm saying. My dad couldn't come this way. Sad story, typical black American dad story. So now it's like you can't be that typical black American dad because you're from Canada.
See, it's kind of like that thing. It's that thing in the back of your mind. The back of your mind, you talk down on other people for doing something, but you got your own skeletons. But they're gonna come out, and you're like, well, if they find out I'm doing this, bro,
right.
People ain't gonna. But it all worked out, right? People are like, of course you got a kid. Like you can't be smashing all these women.
Right.
You can't be smashing all these women. Like these raps are too real.
Right.
These raps feel too real. It's like when Kodak Black gets arrested. Of course you're gonna bomb. The way you rap, like this has to be real. So for Drake to have a baby, it's like, that makes sense.
And it's crazy because on oh my god, what's the album with
Scorpion?
No, not Scorpion. The one with the head in the clouds.
Nothing was the same.
Nothing was the same. I don't know why. I just forgot that. I apologize.
Because your head's in the clouds.
Yeah, my head's in the clouds. But no, on that album, a couple chicks trying to have me all on Maury, like it sure is. You should be supportive, but
right.
And then all of a sudden next week come out like actually it was yours.
Right.
Sorry, let's get back to topic.
No, that's all good. It's good banter. So next question. What do you think were the circumstances that led to their reconciliation? I think brought him out during Summer Jam or whatever.
I'm gonna answer this one first. I honestly think it's like any other fight. All right, bro, we had to do that. We had to get that fight in. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you hung with me. You know what I'm saying? You took them punches. Now we can squash it and make money together.
So they just shot the fair one. Was like,
they shot the fair one, and I think, and this is the thing. I think it started because Jay was at a point where he was like, y'all, like, I can't say I'm the king of New York if everybody keeps talking about Nas. Because, you know what I'm saying? So until then, like, that's why he came out and said that. Because, I mean, in the original song, he didn't just diss Nas, but Nas happened to stick out the most because everybody else was little bros. Everybody else was so under Jay that it didn't matter about, like, him talking. It's kind of like, I mean, yeah, you could say that about them.
The rest of you cats throwing shots at Jigga, you only get half a bar. Fuck y'all niggas.
But it's like, for Nas, it's like, oh, you went at Nas? That's like RoboCop trying to go at Terminator. Like, he ain't ready. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, or that's kind of like, I'm going to go to an Avengers because I know how much you are, but it's like somebody trying to fight Thanos one-on-one. And it's like, yo, like, what you mean? Like, and I can hold my own. You know what I'm saying? And Nas showed that. And especially because at the time, Nas' career wasn't at the peak that it was. You know, he followed some other trends. He tried to like get more commercial from where he was coming from and things like that. And it felt like he was trying to get back to that kid from the jungle that he was at one point, and he's trying to get back to that, and he's teaming up with Diddy, coming out with songs and things like that, and it's just the sound isn't sounding the same and the from that first Illmatic, you know. And then it was like, so when he came out with Stillmatic and gave us that Stillmatic, it was like, oh, this that Nas we've been waiting for. And I mean, so I definitely, I definitely think they just have to squash that. And Jay is just such a real person. He was like, yo, he beat me. Because, I mean, he said it. He got me on that one. And I think for Jay, it's just like, yo, and it goes back to that old saying, if you can't beat him, join him.
Ooh, that's a great point.
Yeah.
That's a great point. Rolex?
I want to say just having a respect for each other.
Mm-hmm.
If you respect someone as an artist, like there's people in the NBA that genuinely don't like each other.
For
like
sure.
beef. Like what Isaiah and Michael Jordan, like they genuinely don't like each other. Like MJ, like I don't respect what y'all did. Isaiah, I don't respect the way that you move, type of thing, right? And I think for JAY-Z and Nas, not only are they from like, I mean, inadvertently the same place geographically, but it's like I respect your game. It was dope. I saw what you did. Meek Mill and Drake, I respect your game. I saw what you did. We're not friends, but we don't jump on each other's album because we still make good music together. Like we still got business moves to make. Versus other people, it's like, no, I genuinely just don't like him.
Yeah.
I genuinely just like me and you was talking about that with him.
Like Gucci Man will never like Jeezy, it seemed like.
It does. It doesn't sound like about to just hang out and watch a movie together.
I mean, you rap about killing somebody's homeboy.
No, but on the verses, you come out and just immediately say, yeah, y'all see, he can't mess with me. Like, I'm just trying to do this for the culture.
Right. I think there's levels even within our own friendships with people. It's certain situations where it's like, oh yeah, y'all squash y'all thing. Oh yeah, it wasn't a big deal, and I still mess with him. He still adds value to my perimeter. Versus I used to mess with dude. Nah, man, but all he did was step on his shoe. Yeah, but you know, I just don't like that nigga though. Yeah. I don't like him. You know what I mean? I think that's what you see when people just never talk again. Like I happen to write this verse about dude because I genuinely don't like him. I wrote this 5 years ago. I've always hated him.
Yeah.
I think that's something dope. But just a little footnote about the Meek Mill and Drake thing. What I found particularly interesting is the fact that, you know, Meek was like, you know, I was going through something crazy with addiction. I
also think so when it comes to that, when it comes to, you say Meek Mill and Drake, and then you talk about like Nas and Hove, and like a lot of the bars and then people point out are the ones where, you know, use rappers on your baby seat. Is it your world tour or your girls tour? Primarily it's like there's a woman involved.
Yeah.
So once time goes by and it's like, it's just a human that's putting a rift between my relationship with someone that I think we can make good music with.
Yes.
No pun intended. I mean, literally. And with Meek and Drake, the same thing. Like Meek eventually break up with Nicki. It's like, oh well, those bars were about her primarily, and I still like dude, and we talk a lot. We text. We like the same basketball teams. I don't know. But when it comes to other beefs, it's like, nah, I just really don't. Like Pusha said he went so hard on Drake because he said Mrs. Williams, like he's mentioned his wife's name. Okay, that's like, I'm gonna be married to this woman forever. I'm going in. So that's never gonna be. That woman's still gonna be there forever. Right. He has.
Let's say the words, and he like, man, she was cheating with Common. You know what I'm saying? So.
All right, next question. Will we ever see another beef as high profile as JAY-Z and Nas?
I mean,
high profile. What do you? I'm gonna ask. I'm gonna ask you to elaborate a little bit more on that question.
Absolutely. Two people at the absolute top of their game. Will we ever see? You know, kind of like a LeBron KD rivalry, which is looking like it's going to come right if the Nets stay together. If LeBron plays a few more years with the Lakers, that may be the new thing. But as far as just two people just at the absolute peak of their careers going back at it. Now, we did kind of say that Meek Mill and Drake had, you know, would that be the most recent of, like, were they both at the peak? Was Meek at his peak at that time?
I don't think he was at his peak at his time. And I say that because a lot of people, he wasn't as commercialized as he is at this time.
Okay, that makes sense. I see what you're saying.
It was like it was almost, to simplify it, it was almost like a Jay-Z I'm about $1. Who the fuck is 50 Cent?
Right.
Who's 50 Cent?
Uh-huh.
Because when the Drake Meek thing happened, I saw a bunch of people on YouTube like, who is Meek Mill? I was like, I don't know who Meek Mill is, but at the time, this is before championships. This is before 1942.
Correct.
This is before wins and losses.
Got you.
So send him a bottle of champagne. Like, I mean, I'm not gonna say you put him on, but
Right.
you date Nicki, then Drake. This is you. Drake is an international star.
Right.
So when it comes to, and people knew who Nas was, they just didn't know that Nas would write an ether. People knew who he was. We didn't have all the stuff. We didn't have an Instagram. Those were the rappers.
Right.
So for it to be something like that of that caliber, we need the longevity and we need the fame. So it's gotta be, it's a lot. It's a lot because you have to be that famous. They both gotta be that famous. Even Ja Rule and 50. Ja Rule's still more famous than 50.
Yeah.
This is true, and I think that I was gonna say is like the longevity. I think that right now nobody's gonna be able to overtake Drake, and I think that longevity will continue to be there because he's so versatile, and because like he makes himself scarce. Like we just got 3 songs of Scary Hours 2, and we vibing off of that.
Right.
But he doesn't. But when did Scorpion come out? 2018.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? So I just think that longevity is there, and I don't think that anybody's gonna be
Right.
It's
Also,
nice.
also at this point, it's kind of like getting at him is kind of whack now because he's survived 2 battles already. So it looks like you're trying to Compton game the situation. Like, hey, look at me. Like, what does Drake say? So many ops. I don't even know how many ops I got or some shit like that. Like, I don't even know. Like, I wish I remember the bar because I don't even got time to pay attention to these bums anymore. At this point, anyone that you've done the Jay-Z thing where anyone that disses you looks stupid by dissing you.
Yeah.
You writing a diss about me is a diss to you.
That's kind of true. I will say this though. It may not come out of necessarily rap music. I think the next big beef will be R&B.
R&B. Whoa. Okay. Speak on it. I want to hear more.
I think it could be Tory. I don't even think it'd be Tory, but honestly, I think it'll be Chris Brown and somebody. I actually think that.
And they would rap. They would
sing. I think it would be like.
You think this sing beefs?
I think I think because now, see, the thing with music is music's changed. So when we're talking about those early 2000s, it was straight lyrics, bars. Music has become more melodic.
Yeah.
So now, in a sense, now people are more at a point where, you know what I'm saying, rappers sing. Rappers, you know what I mean? Like now they harmonize on their music. I mean, some of the hardest rappers in the game right now have melodic kind of songs. I mean, J. Cole, Kendrick, Meek, Drake. I mean, everyone you could probably name in the current game right now has melodic type of sound or cadence within their music. So I think, and honestly, these R&B rappers, dude, they like, everybody want to be, you know, sorry to mention his name, but everybody want to be R. Kelly. They want to be an R&B thug. So, you know, I think now that's where it's going to come out at. Because honestly, the new cats that are coming up, it's only a few, you know what I'm saying, people that you can probably pick up that are like real lyricists in this new age of rapping. I'll probably say Cordae is probably one of my favorite guys.
Love Cordae.
Cordae is just so dope, you know what I'm saying? Actually, I'm not gonna lie, people hate this guy, but I actually like Russ. I like Russ. I don't know why. I like that dude. It's a few other cats. I can't say names right now, but I just see music being more like, it's gonna get more to an R&B stuff or things like that. Who got the Soulja Boy? Soulja Boy gonna be.
I don't think, to answer your question, I think that the answer is no. I don't think that we're gonna get to a point where we'll have anything of that caliber again, because at the time, so Jay-Z drops his first album in 1996, right? And then Blueprint 1 drops in 2001. So that's moved like 5 years and just build momentum, right? And then Nas been around 1,000 years. 4 albums in 10 years, nigga, I can divide one of them. So, but their popularity was I guess inflated because of the lack of artists we had, the lack of access we have. Now, with so many artists in the bubble and the different lanes we have, and what I mean by that, I mean like not only as far as like the melodic rappers who sing and rap, but we can go all the way down to actual battle rappers that battle. Like we don't gotta be like, let's listen to Ether 1,000 times. Now let's just go to YouTube and just watch what he said about his mom with cancer last night.
And the nurse that takes care of the mom.
Right. Let's just go. So
everybody getting it.
So that caliber, no, I don't think we'll see it again.
Okay, and I'll even take it to this step further. It might not be in music or anyway. It might actually be comedy.
Comedy beef.
Comedy beef is the new thing right now. Comedy beef.
Yeah. It sound like something.